And nothing hidden that will not be made known and brought to light. Luke chapter 8 and verse 17. The core of this prophecy is about something called snuff films. That should automatically tell us, those of us who actually know what these are, that this will be a word of very strong and graphic content. However, it is the Lord's word and his revelation, and so it must come out. Now, when the Lord started to speak to me about these things called snuff films, I didn't know what he was talking about, and I had to go and look it up. But everywhere that I looked online for definitions, I found almost like a stone wall. It was said on Wikipedia and other articles and whatever it is that popped up whenever you type a phrase into Google, that this is a figment of imagination and that it does not exist. It says these are movies that are made with very sophisticated and clever special effects, and so they appear real, but they are not. However, after the Lord had been talking to me about this stuff for an hour, I was extremely angry because I knew that it was yet another layer of lies and that are advanced through the media and through the available information that we actually get access to on the internet. And all of this is being done to hide or protect wicked agendas. The Lord gave me a very high level of detail in this prophecy, and I will not hold anything back. And you will be the judge at the end of it, whether I am talking about figments of imagination or not. A snuff film is a film in which a person, a child, or an animal is sexually molested with great violence on camera and then is put to death while film rolls for the enjoyment of live viewers who are usually present at the time. The film is later sold for high amounts of money to those who crave this kind of thing as genuine entertainment. So please keep in mind as you are listening to this prophecy that these are not murders that are taking place in secret, where people go to great lengths to hide the fact that they are murdering another person. This is a type of murder that is recorded, and there is a point of gain in mind when the murder is being committed. These are very high profile, planned out killings, and the end of it is to provide often sexual pleasure for those who are watching, and that makes it a highly sought after commodity. So watching a human being put to death can be for the pleasure of one viewer, meaning that one person with very deep pockets can commission this type of film, and those who provide the content will go out and look for the exact type of man, woman, or child that this person desires to see put to death, and they can make a custom-made movie for someone whereby the person says, this is the storyline that I'm interested in, and I want her to be a redhead, and I want her to look no older than 16. Those who provide that content will go out and customize it. Or it can be done generically and sold to multiple buyers. Most of the time, as the Lord said, and he told me to keep this in mind, it is always done for viewers. So sometimes the viewers are watching from a remote location, meaning that the murder is being live streamed. And people can safely watch at their own homes, wherever they are, and not have to worry about police raids or that someone will leak what's going on and they might get busted as it's happening. They watch from remote locations, but more often it is much more preferable and desirable to watch on site. I can describe the place that I saw as a glass box. So this glass box had chairs in organized rows. It had snacks, it had aircon, and it was very comfortable in there. It was also heavily rigged for sound. And so what would happen is that those who are watching the snuff film will be able to follow the progression of the story and then be rewarded by watching the live murder take place outside the glass box, where no blood or gore can get on them, but where they can watch it live. However, that's only one type of on-site viewing, the strategic sexual abuse of children. And in one such, I saw that multiple adults were gathered as a child was placed on a white strip of cloth. And then an adult male came behind that child and began to sexually abuse him through sodomy. And as I was watching that, I remember that I was so shocked because the picture was so real that I instinctively moved my hands to the back as if to protect myself from this happening to me. And I saw in that picture that all the adults were standing and watching this child be abused. But not only that, multiple small children were made to stand and watch because either they were going to be next, or this was being used as a training device to tell them, if you don't obey us and if you don't listen to us, this is what will happen to bad boys and bad girls. It's always with the viewership in mind, whether they are on site or whether they are watching remotely or whether they are going to pay high sums of money to consume this content later. These films are a reality. They are live murder for hire. And he began to explain to me in a conversational fashion. When I say conversational, this is just God talking to me, not to say that his heart does not care about the content. The Lord began to explain to me that this is a huge parallel movie industry and it's worse than pornography. I've explained in the Sin series, I think it's called Immolators of Desire, that prophetic word, that pornography is something that God greatly condemns because this is where a human being is gazing upon sexual activity that is not only illegal and immoral in the spirit realm, but also it is sexual activity that the viewer is not a part of. However, you become bonded to it, and God called pornography a form of witchcraft because you become bonded to something that you're not even a part of. It opens a doorway in your spirit that allows very powerful demons to come and not only reside in you physically, but to exert a lot of control over your mind and your physical body. But the Lord says that snuff films are worse than pornography because they combine sexual abuse, violence, and murder. And the danger that they pose is impossible to track or police. Unless God himself intervenes, there is no hope for the people who are caught in these movies because the movies are not being prepared for ordinary content users. So this is not even something that you can find on Google or a special website. This is stuff that is specially commissioned and it is being made for people at the very top and protected by people from the very top. The Lord said that it has the highest level of financiers, brokers, and backers, meaning that these movies never run out of cash to pay for actors and sundries such as the camera and the crew. The Lord made me know that this doesn't take place in a vacuum, that there's a whole rigmarole that goes with it. There's a whole staff component of people who know what is going on and they consent for this to be their job. There's the sound people, the lighting people, the staff that get the girls ready and these girls don't know what's about to happen to them, the staff that gives the boys haircuts, the people that cook for them, the chefs. There's a whole world that draws their living from this industry. And God said it is protected from the top because the material is prepared for those at the top. And we know that it is very possible for those at the top to keep everything in the background and make sure that nobody knows who they don't want to know. The consumers are the wealthy, the powerful, the elite, the rich, the super rich, the highest echelon of society that he said are known privately among themselves as the untouchables. So this is what they call themselves, the untouchables. He says these are the ones who use, buy, sell, and consume this type of movie.